Hello YouTube land and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a little bit of a review to do on this new product that I've just purchased, the Balila wireless microphone set. One of the reasons I got these microphones is because one of the problems that I have as a very amateur YouTuber is sound quality. Sound quality normally comes from the fact that I've got poor camera equipment, which is a real shame. I like to make videos from time to time. I'm not a professional YouTuber, as I'm sure you can quite easily tell by looking at my videos, but I do like to improve things. The camera that I'm using at the moment is a Canon Ligria FS200, I think. Quite an old one, but as I've said in previous videos, I don't make enough videos to justify the outlay, the financial outlay of buying a really good camera. I'm always on the lookout for a decent camera, but this is what I've come up with to help make things a little bit easier and sound a little bit better. So let's have a look at what you get in the package. So as you can see, this particular kit comes with 2 transmitters and 1 receiver, which we'll obviously go over in a minute. But you can connect this to an XLR camcorder, a DSLR camera, your smartphone, or even your PC. So let's take a look inside. So it comes in a nice case, semi-hard. Open him up. And there we have the kit. So what do we get inside then? Let's take a look at some of these first of all. Okay, that's an extra one that I bought. You do get one that comes with it that they say works, but it is actually 4 rings to 4 rings on the one that's supplied, and I'm led to believe that you won't get a good sound quality with that if you're using a camcorder. So I had to buy this separate one, which is a TRRS to a TRS. You get the charging cable, which is for the receiver. You get a double USB charger, which will enable you to charge both transmitters at the same time. You have some cables here that you can attach the the receiver to the iPhone or any kind of phone that you're using. I've got 2 spare wind foam things, whatever you call those, and in here we have 2 lavalier mics. With the crocodile clips. So let's take a look at the receiver first. Okay, well it's plastic. It has a micro USB port there for charging. It has an earphone jack, a 3.5mm earphone jack, which is for monitoring any sound. So if you've got a cameraman with this attached to your camera, the cameraman can put in some earphones and have the ability to monitor what the mics are doing, which is, I think, is a great feature. On and off button. Now these are paired automatically, so I'm led to believe. I have already tried them and they are. at least these ones are. So you don't need to mess around with them. There is some instructions that will let you know how to pair them if they are not paired, but these are, so it's just a case of plug and play type of thing. The back has a sprung loaded clip which you can attach to your mobile phone if you're using it as a mobile phone, or you can attach it to your camera. This is just the right size to fit on the cold shoe of a DSLR or a camcorder, just for mounting. So let's have a look at one of the transmitters. Feels like metal. Quite sturdy. Aerials. I'll go into aerials in a moment. I'm not quite sure about these. I'll speak about those in a moment. But these have 20 channels. Simple push and hold to switch it on. Now you probably won't be able to see. Oh, you might be able to. There's the channel, the battery indicator at the top, and all you need to do to pair them or to switch them on is you will then switch on the receiver. Now when the green light comes on, it means that they are paired. So when you switch on the transmitter, the light goes to blue, which lets you know that there is a good connection between the transmitter and the receiver. If you are activating both of the units, so you're in a situation where you might be doing an interview, perhaps where you'll need two lavalier microphones, one for yourself and one for your interviewee, then you will switch on the second one. Now you might not be able to tell that, again because of my really poor camera equipment, but that light now has a green and a blue light. You might be able to just see that, a green and a blue light. So if you've got the green and blue light on, it means both of your units are paired and ready to use. So let's connect one of these things up and see how it performs. Okay, so to connect this to the camera, first of all you need to take your your receiver, and you take your TRRS to TRS plug, and you take the 4-ring one and you plug it into the bottom of the receiver unit. You then obviously open up your camera or wherever your particular microphone input is. In my case it's a little red one there. Plug that in there. Now on my camera there isn't a cold shoe, so I can't place it on the top, which is probably the ideal place for it, but it does have this crocodile type clip. So for now, for me, all I'm going to do is I'm going to clip it to the bottom of the screen just to keep it out of the way. I could, if it's on a tripod, I could clip it to there, but that's the way I'm going to mount it for this video. So to connect the transmitter, you just take your transmitter and one of your lavalier mics. The connection is a 3.5mm jack plug with a capture ring. So we just put that home, tighten it up, and then I'm going to put this up my shirt. Don't have to, you can clip it on the outside, but that's just the way I'm going to do it. They do say the best place for these is round about the middle of the chest, so that's what I'm going to do. Taking care not to have the mic rustling against your shirt, because it will obviously pick up. And then the transmitter, you can either put it in a pocket or clip it onto your belt. So right, let's get these connected up and see how they work. So hopefully everything's working. The sound you are hearing now is from the mic. It's just raw sound. It's not been messed around with in post at all. There's been no noise reduction or anything like that. This is just as it comes from the microphone. I'm going to have a walk around. It does say that you should get around about 80 meters transmission distance. That I expect will be line of sight, not taking into consideration any obstructions and so on. That being said, I'm going to go for a walk around the house. I'm upstairs at the moment in my man cave, so I'm going to have a walk around and see how it picks up within the walls of the house, bearing in mind that there will be walls between the receiver and transmitter at some point. So let's go for a quick walk. I'm going out of the door. I'm going to go into my bedroom next door. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm going to come back out onto the landing, close the door, and I'm going to go downstairs. Again, hopefully you can still hear me. I'm now at the bottom of the stairs. I'm going to turn around and come back. I know it's not a long test. I do look forward to using it outside. I'm back in the room. So there we have it. As I said, this is just raw sound coming from the microphone. No messing around in post. Obviously you can do your noise reduction and all that kind of thing should it be necessary. So pros and cons then. Pros first. The price, really quite cheap from Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description to where I got these. I did get mine slightly cheaper than what Amazon is saying at the moment. I think it went up between the time that I ordered it and the time that I received it. I paid £67 for these. I think they're up to about 79 or something like that. Even so, less than £100 for two radio mics that seem to work quite well. So definitely price is a plus. Another pro is that they are quite small and light, and they're not cumbersome at all. They seem to be very well made, quite sturdy. There's nothing rattling around when you rattle them. They're very easy to use and to set up. They work with all kinds of equipment. The cons, there aren't many, I don't think, but one of them is, if you look at the transmitters, the clasp on the back is not the same type of clasp as on the receiver. It isn't a crocodile style one. This is just like an ordinary belt loop, and it feels a bit flimsy. I suggest that in time that is going to break. You can guarantee that's going to break at some point. So if I had anything to say to Balila, I would say replace them with something like that. I would definitely say that. Another con that I've found, or something I don't quite like about them, is the antennas. Now I've put a little bit of red on this. I've put that on there. That's just so I know which is which and which ones I'm using, etc. I know what I mean. Anyway, the antennas, they are very flimsy. They're fixed. You can't take them off, because I would have preferred to be able to take them off for storage. They're very thin and flimsy, and they're made out of a piece of steel wire, is the only way I can describe it. And do you see what I mean? they seem very flimsy, and sooner or later they're going to get snapped, then they're going to break, and you can't replace them. You'd have to buy a new unit. So another thing I would say to Balila is definitely get some better antennas on them. Ideally, to be able to unscrew and take them off. That is one thing. The other thing I found as well is my brother spotted this, and I thought I was right, but having tested them again today, I think he might be right, is you can change the volume of the microphone. So if it's over modulating a little bit, you can turn it down and turn it up, and vice versa. But what I found with this one anyway, I haven't tried the other unit yet, but this one, oops, nearly dropped the bugger. But with this one, turning the volume down didn't seem to make a great deal of difference, even when it went to off completely. It didn't make any difference to the sound. So maybe that's just a fault with this one. I don't know. The other thing I noticed, and this is only peculiar to my particular one, is that when you turn them on and charge them up fully, you'll notice, if you can see that, I'll just manoeuvre it a little bit, you can see that there's 3 bars showing the battery level. That's as you would expect. However, on the second unit, if I turn that one on, that is only showing 2 bars. No matter how much I charge this particular unit, it only shows 2 bars. Now, I sent a message to Balila saying that there's an issue with one of the transmitters, and they were very, very quick in getting back to me. I take my hat off to how quick they are. And they said what I suspected, and that was that the unit is charged fully, but there's a problem with the display, because when it was charging it was going up to 2 and then a little flicker on 3, and it didn't show it going up like the other one does. You see all 3 going up as it's charging. That only goes to 2, but it flickers a tiny bit on the 3rd one, so it's a display problem. However, Balila did say to me, I've got a number of options. They'll either send me a new one, a new transmitter, or if I'm happy to leave it as it is, knowing that it's fully charged but only showing 2 bars, then they'll give me a £10 refund. And the other thing they said was that they've refunded me the entire amount because I've reported a problem with it. They said it was their problem, it was something to do with one of their engineers that hadn't done something right or something with it, and it's their fault, therefore they're going to refund me the whole amount. They said they'd refunded me the whole amount, but it doesn't look like they have yet. But if that's the case, they're going to send me a new transmitter and refund me the entire cost of it as well, which I think is a bit, it's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it's a bit of I'm not sure that's entirely necessary. But anyway, the point I'm making is that Balila's customer service, to me at least, was absolutely fantastic. I've got nothing really else to say about that. They were really, really good. But for now, that's the end of this very quick review. As always, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it when you watch my videos. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. Take care.